Welcome. Welcome. A happy Sunday evening to all of you. I hope that all of us are staying safe and remaining under the protection of Krishna by chanting the holy names and by reading Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Welcome. Happy to be with all of you. Today I'm going to take you to reading from the 18th chapter. Tomorrow is a famous festival, and all over the world, devotees will be very eager to watch and follow these programs. That is the famous Rath Yatra celebrations. It's a very exciting, ecstatic event that everybody takes part in. Even here in Coimbatore, the Raman, we perform a very big Rath Yatra, very famous, and many devotees take part. Unfortunately, we're not able to perform that in this lockdown period due to restrictions. And we are hoping and praying to Lord Jagannath that we will be able to do this very, very interesting service to him in the near future. So I thought that I would like to focus a little bit on the very popular deity temple worship that in India people conduct all over. They are very, very much tuned in to worship a form of the Lord. And that to many people sounds very strange to some. First, people of other faiths, and rightly so, they have reasons for from their viewpoint. And so we're going to just briefly visit that, as Krishna is saying. I'm just looking for that shloka. 1 minute, so that I can give you the page number and you can also follow. 18.50. No, let's go to maybe 17 chapter. Yeah. Yeah. Text 14 from chapter 17 is what we're going to touch upon today, and also one section of the 18th chapter. But basically, you can go to text 14 from chapter 17. So if you have it with you, you please look into the book. And if you did not have it with you, you can look into the screen where it is being displayed. Devidvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. So I'll read that again. You can follow. Devidvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam ahimsacha shariram tapa uchyate. So if you'd like to repeat after me, one by one, I'll chant one line and then you chant after me. Devadvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam ahimsacha Shariram tapa uchyate. Again, Devadvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam ahimsa cha Shariram tapa uchyate. Thank you. Deva of the Supreme Lord, Dvija, the Brahmanas, Guru, the spiritual master, Prajna, and worshipable personalities, Pujanam, worship, Shaucham, cleanliness, Arjavam, simplicity, Brahmacharyam, celibacy, Ahimsa, non-violence, Cha, also, Shariram, pertaining to the body, Tapaha, austerity, Uchyate, is said to be. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. Austerity of the body consists in worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master and superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead here explains the different kinds of austerity and penance. First, he explains the austerities and penances practiced by the body. One should offer or learn to offer respect to God or to the demigods, the perfect qualified brahmanas, and the spiritual master and superiors like father, mother, or any person who is conversant with Vedic knowledge. These should be given proper respect. One should practice cleansing oneself externally and internally, and he should learn to become simple in behavior. He should not do anything which is not sanctioned by the scriptural injunctions. He should not indulge in sex outside of marriage life, for sex is sanctioned in the scripture only in marriage, not otherwise. This is called celibacy. These are penances and austerities as far as the body is concerned. Om Tat Sat, Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Paschatya Vichatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. Welcome to everybody. This talk is going to be based mostly for the newcomers and for those who are attending the BGO sessions, the Gita live sessions, and all of them together who are gathered here. So it's more like an outreach session. But everybody is welcome. No doubt about that. So I just randomly picked up the shloka today. Devadvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shauchanam Arjavam. Pujanam. Puja means worship. One of the very widely spread types of spiritual activity or religious activity, you should say. In India, you will see that there are many, many temples and demigods are worshipped. The Supreme Lord is worshipped. And now I hear there are temples also for personalities in the material world. And they're worshipped. Basically, the idea of worship, the pujanam, I worship so-and-so person. Why? Because of 1, 2, 3, 4 qualities. Because of the qualities, why should you worship so-and-so? Because of those qualities, I benefit. And I therefore want to give back respect that I adore you. I want to follow you. I want to show you respect. I want to keep a relationship of you being a superior to me and you instructing me and I being a subordinate person to you and receiving that instruction and practicing it in life and benefiting from it. And because I'm benefiting and I'm getting some results, I like to have such sort of a superior who is a counselor to me who is a teacher to me and who is revealing to me things about reality. And therefore, I have a sense of respect, awe, and I really want to do something. That tendency to be of some service is springing up into me. This is a very natural thing that happens. If somebody does something good for you, gives you good advice, helps you out when you're stuck up with something, and actually with his mind, body, words, wealth, he does something for you, then you become grateful to that person. You develop a relationship with that person. You may see that that person is actually more than something just ordinary like me, and I can get a lot of instruction from him. So you even try to worship that person. So this is natural. In fact, Krishna lists it as one of the austerities of the body, tapasya of the body. He talks here about tapasya of speech, about mind and the body. And so in the body, he says that worshipping Deva Dvija Guru Prajna. Deva means the supreme personality of Godhead. And also it means other gods that people worship. Guru, who gives you spiritual instructions. Prajna, respectable people who actually give you a lot of information, give you guidance, give you many things that you want very much. They're worshipable. So this is a culture that people who benefit you, I hold in awe and respect. I hold you at worship means you're not equal to me. You're not below me. You're above me. This is the meaning of worship. You are something more than me. This is naturally ingrained inside worship. I'm not talking about fan clubs. They also worship. I become a fan of a film actor, a film actress, and that's because you have certain type of assets. You look beautiful, you're talented, and you act very well, you sing very well, etc., etc. Because of these reasons, I'm after you. And the moment I learn these things from you and I'm also able to do it, I'll think, oh, I'm equal to you. I'm equal to you. I mean, what's so great about it? In fact, I'll surpass you and go ahead of you. And that's my life's goal. I leave you behind and I feel victorious. And so these people will not worship. They will worship only till their job is over. Like in Kerala, they will say, if the bridge is very squeaky and shaky and you have to cross the bridge and it's made out of bamboo and there's below you a chasm and a gushing water flowing through a stream, oh gosh, Narayana, 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 they will tell. So they say, Palang kadakkunnavare Narayana, Narayana, adu kazhinjittu Kurayana, Kurayana, Kurayana. I mean, still I crossed the bridge, I said Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. As soon as I finished with it, that Kurayana. As though it was not at all necessary for me to chant. But it's really not worship. It is just waiting to take over your position. Ashada Buddhi, they will tell a story in Vedic times. Ashada Buddhi means, Guru had disciples. I remember meeting one, when I first came to the movement, actually in Chennai, I remember meeting one Swamiji from an ashram. He came to our temple. We were in Burkit Road, Chennai. And we were telling him, do you have problems with disciples and all that? How do you manage your ashram and things like that? Said, oh. He said in Tamil, he said, Konnuduvaina. He said, they will murder me if they get a chance. I said, what? Then he said that, there are people like this, they join the ashram, but they don't have any culture of this thing. They don't have any this thing. He was so frustrated with running an ashram. A very nice man. And he said that, I will keep everything under lock and key. Anytime then I said, isn't that very strange that you're running this? Like that only, this is Kali Yuga, something like that he mentioned. I said, but he was running, he was not like a Vaishnava or a follower of this thing. Some type of ashram he was running. Picking up everybody from the roadside and putting them inside. Naturally, they'll be like that. What do you expect? So I came to know that from him. He said, Ashada Buddhi. Ashada, he said. Then he gave a story. He gave a story about a guru and his disciples. And the Guru was always keeping the dakshina that he would keep very carefully with him, tied in a cloth. He did not trust the disciples for some reason or the other. So, but there was one of his disciples who was very close to him. Guru Maharaj, whatever you want. So he had some little faith in him. But this money he would never give even to him. He would keep it in his armpit tied like this and under his armpit like that. And he would feel the tightness, and so he'll always put his chadar above it and then he would use it like that. So all the time the Guru would keep it with this. So the boy also knows the Guru Maharaj is very careful about that. It's okay. So others, definitely he will not give any of his other paraphernalia. My kamandalu, my stake, my books, my that, this and all that, he will give only to this boy. But the money he always kept with him. But one day they had to go on a pilgrimage and they had to take a bath in a holy river. So he was wondering what to do now. I take off my this thing, I wear my towel, everything, and I go, I can keep all this, but how to keep the money? So he looked at this boy, and this boy was looking so nice, innocent. He has been serving him for so long, for 2 years, 3 years. And he thought, no, he's a nice boy. He's not after this thing. And the boy also looked very submissive like that. So he took out this thing and he put it inside his kamandalu and he closed it and said, I'll come back after taking a dip, okay? Yes, Guru Maharaj. Don't worry, Guru Maharaj. He said it so nicely that the Guru felt, good. Immediately he went to take a dip and then chant his Gayatri and all that. He came back. The boy is not there. The kamandalu is not there. Everything gone. And then he said, see, I trusted him. For a moment, Ashada Buddhi, he said that the boy was waiting for that moment when the trust will come on him. Right? So even in society, in social situation and circumstances, although people have faith and although people render physical services, we know that trust and faith is not so easily placed. And mostly people are trying to gain over you, do what you do, imitate you, learn from you and leave you like that. In the material world, this is very common. It's very common. There's no question of worshipping somebody, incidentally worshipping somebody. But when a person is actually a devotee of Krishna, when he understands Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he knows why he is God, why he is the reality, the absolute truth, and he knows the details as given in Bhagavad Gita, then only really worship starts. He knows he can never be God. He can only be a devotee of God as Krishna has asked him to do. Then the real worship manifests because of knowledge. And those people who are leading him to that absolute truth are also becoming worshipable for him, because he helped me to move towards this direction. That's why parents are mentioned here. Those parents who help the children to move towards becoming devotees of Krishna, they are worshipable. They are worshipable. So nothing wrong. Sometimes people think that, why are you worshipping a human being? And the same people, if you worship God, they'll say, why are you worshipping a statue? Anybody they don't like to worship, actually. But if you do any worship, they'll say, why are you worshipping? What's the meaning behind this? What do you understand? Etc., etc. So people are generally against worship of anybody. Everybody is equal. Nobody needs to be worshipped. Everybody is equal. There's no high, there is no low of any sort. No, there is. Even by karma, there is. Somebody is richer than you. Somebody looks better than you. Somebody is born in a better family. No, everything should be ironed out and platoed. Everything is one. But you can never do it that way. So in the material world, worship is about waiting to take away things from you. Ashada Buddhi. In the material world, the people also know that This guy is trying to come close to actually take my stuff. I know, very sure. So he's very careful and at the same time taking praise and everything from him. So it's so funny. Especially the politicians, you say, smile very nicely. And they got so many enemies all around them. All the people who are helping them are all waiting to push this guy down and climb on top of him. But they'll, be very nice. And talk very affectionately, and they're just waiting for a chance to stomp him down. So this type of worship is different. But when a person understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, really worships. Because he feels, my Lord is worshipable. And that is when he feels, I need to worship. So it's encouraged as one of the angas of bhakti, that you worship a deity form of the Lord. The Lord manifests himself in 8 different material mediums. You can make the deity of the Lord in stone. You can make out of mud and clay. You can make out of metal. You can make in jewels. You can call the Supreme Lord inside water, inside the jala. Then you can make in wood. Jagannath Swami is made in wood, neem. Like this, in different ways, you can actually, there is a science behind Archa Vigraha. That means, Archana means worshipable. Vigraha means form of the Lord. It's a particular way it's made. And there is a particular way the Lord is invited to reside in that form, and called Prana Pratishta. During installation they do. There are mantras and there's a whole ritual to do with that. And there is a lot of austerity people follow to do that, building a temple, everything. And the Lord is invited, installed, and he accepts worship of the devotee or the devotees in the community and everything. And this is one way of actually reaching your worship to the Lord. Prabhupada said, he explained it very beautifully. He gave an analogy saying that, you see, there is a general post office. In those days, I mean, today I don't know how it is. General post office, and you have to go and post your letter in the general post office. But everybody cannot go to the general post office. So I think in my younger days, I would see post boxes everywhere, hanging on the door this way, and somebody's gate and wall here. And everybody knows near the so-and-so central place, there's a post box. You can put it in the post box. Every day, postman will come and open it and collect all the letters. And he will take everything to the general post office. It is sorted out there, and from there it reaches the destination. So Prabhupada said, everybody cannot reach the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. So the Lord has manifested himself in the form of the deity. It is like the post box. The deity can be installed by the devotee everywhere in his house, in a common community temple. And there you can offer your worship and service. And it reaches the GPO. It reaches the central place, Krishna in Vaikunta, in Goloka. Prabhupada gave this analogy, but temples were there all over the world before in Vedic civilization. They all got destroyed by all these different religions coming up. I went and saw in Cambodia, Angkor Wat, world's biggest Vishnu temple. Massive, huge stretch of maybe, I heard it's some 60 kilometers or something. In the center, you see the beautiful temple, nothing all around. Just a moat and lake, and very beautifully done. One of the best architectures I ever saw. Ancient temple of Vishnu. It's later taken over by the Buddhists because all the deities were broken. You can see Vishnu in four-handed form. In Cambodia, I was so surprised. I said, I must go and see it, because I was there and I went all the way to Cambodia. I was in Malaysia, I went to Cambodia, and I saw a starstruck at the temple. It is a traditional Hindu temple with all the gopurams and all in Cambodia. And then later I heard the research that I've seen many temple remains in many parts of the world here and there. So there was a culture spread all over the world, because there was one emperor ruling the whole world, Yudhishthira, Parikshit, now that's a history given in Mahabharata. And so you can find this everywhere, remains everywhere. But now, after all this things happened, they have all been destroyed. But it's a very famous culture of relating with the Lord through the deity worship. And that is sanctioned by the Lord, by the Vedic scriptures. And there is a methodology how to do it. And it's got a little mystical idea about it. But people feel very comfortable in India to go to the temple, express themselves, do some little seva, and they feel comforted, because that is your natural position of being connected with the Lord and doing service to Him. It's very natural for you to do that. But if you're brought up in a culture where everybody is equal, nobody needs to be worshipped, nobody is greater than everybody, all human beings are the same, it's difficult for them to understand Devat Dvija Gurur Prajna. So in India, you'll see even parents are worshipped, like it's mentioned here. They're worshipable because they led me along the right path. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, you will see right there, Prabhupada mentions, to my father, Gaur Mohan De. Right? He will write there, right in the first page. Before you open up, you will see, to my father, Gaur Mohan De. Because Prabhupada's father, he very nicely directed him to become a servant of Krishna. When there was a plan for him to go to London and be educated and become a barrister, he said, no, I don't want my son to go and do all that. I want my son to be a servant of Radharani. And therefore, Prabhupada very proudly puts in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, I was so happy that my father directed me properly in life. So I'm sure for Prabhupada, his father is worshipable, because he took pains to put his son in the right direction, especially when he did not know anything much and he was waiting to be directed. So he is worshipable. Because of him, he got to be what he is, because of the direction he gave. So we are always very grateful to those who help us in moving ahead in this line, and they are all worshipable to us. And nothing wrong. Because you give me absolute knowledge about the absolute truth. You reveal to me everything. So without you, I wouldn't have known it. So I'm very grateful to you. So I bring this for you. I want to offer this worship to you. I want to serve you in this way. So these are all good feelings. The tendency to want to worship somebody because he has given me valuable spiritual know-how, instruction, and knowledge is a natural cultural thing that should be encouraged. And if you do that regularly, it's mentioned here, and it takes a form of a temple and the Lord is worshipped. And in all ISKCON temples, you see Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is worshipped there. And that's a very important event the whole day. Everybody gets together and does Guru Puja. And then there is worship of the Supreme Lord right from the morning. The Guru is very closely connected. Acharya, very closely connected with the Lord. He reveals the Lord. This is by Prabhupada's books that we're understanding who is Krishna. So he's worshipable. Pujanam, it is mentioned here. So we worship the Guru. We worship the Vaishnavas. We worship the Supreme Lord. We worship the demigods who are also servants of the Lord. So this is just some fundamental idea about deity worship. So deity worship is not graven image and idols. They're not statues. Statues are what you see on the road here everywhere. So each political man puts up a statue and somebody else comes and knocks it down. Now you have all over the world, they're going against many great guys whose statues is up. They're tumbling it down everywhere. In America, the Confederation, they knocked down all these people who made that, southern states and this Confederation, all that. They knocked down all these fellows' statues. Now in Europe also it is like that. In other places in South America it's happening. All these great fellows who have created racist this thing or communities like this or like that or stood for something, they're breaking it down, putting it down. These are statues of ordinary persons materially known. But the deity which you see in the temple is not a statue. He is worshipable. He is the Lord himself present there. So that's why temple is a very interesting place, because there you can connect with the Supreme Absolute Truth. That is an area where you can serve, and your service is accepted by the Archa Vigraha, the deity form of the Lord. So people are encouraged to come and, Manasa Vacha Dhiya Karmana, Pranir Arther Dhiya Vacha, like Bhagavatam says. I worship the Lord. I offer by wealth, by my intelligence, by my words, by my body, I offer service to the Lord. That's a portal, that's a place. And that service is accepted by the Lord. And there are devotees there who make sure that happens, and you are part of it. And there's a whole community built around the temple. And everybody loves that. The Lord is the center of their life. And they come and they hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata being told, and the wonderful stories there. Like in Ramayana, is so nice to hear the beautiful devotion of Sita, Vibhishana, Rama, Hanuman, Lakshmana, and the whole story weaving around is so amazingly absorbing. So people come in the evening and listen to that, and they know this is that Lord who did these leelas, and their love for the Lord increases, they serve the Lord, and a community builds around the whole temple with the Lord as the center. So it's such a wonderful culture. India was filled with these type of communities before all these Mughals and all that came. Small kingdoms of villages and everything, and ruled by one nice person who is religiously oriented, and everybody listens to him. It seems easy to do things. But democratization and globalization, everything has broken those type of communities and that close relationships and everything, and made everybody more separated, lonely, and everything. Sometimes they don't appreciate these things in this culture. So the temple culture is very important and very interesting. So Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has revived this culture, established temples all over the world, and there are communities of devotees around all these temples. They do Harinam Sankirtan, they have communities everywhere. There are people building houses around the temple, and they come every day in the morning, in the evening, and their kids get educated there. They learn good cultural habits and many things. They engage in drama, singing, kirtan, and the whole community builds up, and they look after each other. It's very wonderful. Otherwise, in the world, people are very isolated, right? So God becomes the center of your life. The temple and the deity becomes the center of your life. And the community feels very secure, because there are many devotees very dedicated there. They conduct the worship, they teach, and they help others to come closer to the Lord. And in this way, you like that, and it is safe and secure. And you're also learning, you're growing in your knowledge of understanding of the reality. You're also engaging in service to the Lord. And more you do that, your real self is coming out. And you can see it. You can experience it, right? So this is temple culture, deity culture. So that deity of the Lord actually reciprocates with the deities, with the devotees. He's not simply a statue, right? So the more devotional you are, the more faith you have, and you relate, the Lord starts relating with you. So we have numerous stories all over in India, in all these temples, of how the deity relates with the devotee, because he has full faith. This is my Lord. He has full faith. Right? So if you go to, Vittalnath, Panduranga, if you go to Pandharpur, you'll hear Udupi Krishna. You hear stories. You go to Srirangam, you'll hear stories. Go to Guruvayur, you hear stories. Go to Tirupati, you'll hear stories. And so many temples I've been to, the amazing stories of the deity relating with the devotees. So this is not something that rationalizing will help you with. Oh, what is it? How can you worship this stone? How can you think that this will this? It will look like a stone to a person if you think it is a stone. It will be a stone if you think it is stone. But if you know and relate with the Lord as He is, you become the Lord for you. And you'll be amazed at what type of things can happen to you. So tomorrow is a big celebration. It'll be on TV, I think, but restriction. Jagannath Puri, ancient Rath Yatra, very thousands and thousands of years back. Since then, the tradition is going on. The main deity comes out, and that's the speciality of Jagannath Rath Yatra. Normally, the Moola Vigraha will stay there only. Only the Utsava Vigraha will come out for all these festivities, for parade and some yatra around. If you go to Guruvayur, you'll see the small deity will come out and go on the elephant, and Gajarohanam, that is going around on the elephant. The Lord likes that very much. The Gurayappan deity, Krishna, he likes elephant ride. In fact, when the temple once upon a time was small, he asked for it of the pujari. It was a small temple, and there was a very elderly person, the pujari, a Nambudri Brahmin. Now, one day the Lord came in his dream and said, you see, in other Shiva temple and other Devi temple now, they have elephants. I like to ride an elephant. Can you get an elephant for me? And this old man doubly bent. Elephant, I am so old. What can I do? How will I, do this? Bring an elephant for you? The Lord is asking him, get me an elephant. So he also felt very much, because it's a very sincere, she is asking me and I have to do this, no? Because I have a relationship with him and I do this service to him. And so he made some inquiry and he found out that there's a big Utsava going on and there's huge amount of elephants. And then Trichur, that big Utsava goes on. And lots of elephants are lined up with all this caprisoning, very beautiful looking. And they beat the drums and it's a real spectacle. So he went all the way there with great difficulty. And with the main person who's organizing, he went and told him that, actually, I want one elephant for the temple, for the Lord. So this man said, hey, stand aside, a big program is going on. I want elephant. He thought this guy is off or something, some old man. No. He said, I'm Nambudri Brahmin. I worship in so-and-so temple. The Lord came in my dream and said, please wait there. Relax. He just couldn't. And so he thought, nobody here will listen to me. I don't know how to do all these things. He went back all the way. He was insulted there and he felt very bad. And then he said, see, I'm not able to do this for you. And you have asked this of me. So I feel extremely ashamed. I feel very lonely. I feel helpless. And, you asked me to do, I came. So he's thinking all these things and went to sleep, feeling very bad. Then the Lord came in his dream and said, go open the main door and see. Go open the main door and see. So he went and opened the temple door, and lo and behold, outside is standing so many elephants. And as soon as he opened the door, they all want to come inside. They all want to come inside. He just opened the door and they all came inside. And he was wondering, what? Then the Lord came in his dream that and said, these are all elephants from that Devi temple you went to know. They did not give you, no. I brought them here. Now you make arrangement for me to go on top of the elephant. I want to take an elephant ride. And he was wondering, my gosh, this is true. It's actually real. He actually wants to go on the elephant. So he made that arrangement, got somebody and all that. And the word spread around and they came to know, elephants have left our place and gone somewhere. Oh gosh. And they came to know these elephants are all here in this place. They all came and said nonsense that, who dare you take. But actually the elephants came on their own. The Lord is super soul in everybody's heart, including the elephant. He led them and said, come off here, you come here. So they just came away, came all the way here. And he had a fantastic program in the meantime. And he was so happy. My Lord is on the elephant. I can't believe it. He really wanted it and it is happening. He was super happy, actually. And the Lord was very happy seeing him happy that he has been able to do it. What a fantastic thing I asked him. And it is happening. So he is very happy. How could I have done this ever like that? So Gajarohanam happened and they all said, come to the elephants. The elephants shook their head and said, we're not coming back. We are staying here only. Since then, this is old Guruvayur temple story. And now the temple has become very big. Since then, one of the main offerings for the Lord is elephant. Big people started offering elephants. Even the chief minister who was here, Jayalalitha, before, she went all the way here and gave an elephant to the deity in Guruvayurappan temple. So people all started donating elephants. And in commemoration of the elephants coming all the way from that Trichur place to this Guruvayur, they have an elephant race every year. They have so many elephants, some 60, 70 elephants. I've gone to the elephant place. You should go there and see. I take the devotees there. So many elephants looked after. It's like a big arrangement by the Guruvayur Devasam board. Each elephant has got a mahout and they have got quarters. And the elephants are looked after and they're given solid feed. And then the elephant is brought to the temple for serving the Lord and carrying him. And out of that elephant is that famous Keshavan elephant. You know, you will see in the front as you enter the tusk of Keshavan. Keshavan was a devotee elephant. He will always win the race. This race every year is there, an elephant race. And the elephants will come running to the temple from there. Whoever wins the race is an amazing event. I saw the BBC photographing it once, on the riding on a jeep behind, and the elephant is running, and they're videoing it. The BBC came to the British Broadcasting Corporation. So this is the only place in the world they have so many elephants in one temple. It's the property of the temple. So the elephant race, whoever wins, the mahout also will run with the elephant. It's a real wild thing. The ground, vibrates like that. So it's a volcano. The elephant is running on the road. And people are all watching and regaling. So who comes first, whichever elephant comes first, that elephant gives for that 10-day festival, he carries the Lord. And he gets all the Mahaprasadam, such big amounts of the prasadam. He simply stands there and eats and carries the Lord. It's like a great reward for him. So elephant is very dear to the Lord. And this happened. And even today, the tradition is being maintained in that place. So pratima nahi to me, you are not a statue. If your devotee is very sincerely worshipping you and seeing you every day and rendering the service, the Lord will reciprocate with him, like he reciprocated with this very elderly Brahmana, right? In the same way, if you go to Puri Jagannath tomorrow, the deity of the Lord is carried by so many people. It's a spectacular thing to see that. It's highly spectacular. How is that? They will actually take the deity on, big, huge pillows made out of feathers and everything. And they will rock it up and down like this and push it. It's a spectacle. There's a big peacock. You can see it on TV. And he comes all the way from the temple walking. Is Paundu Vijay, it is called. And he comes all the way and then he climbs the chariot. For each one chariot is made exclusively. Every year, new chariot is made. And then the king comes and sweeps the floor in the front and begs the Lord for his mercy. He does a menial servant of a sweeper. And everybody pulls the chariot because the Lord takes a Ratha Yatra. He goes on the chariot and goes for a ride. So it's a spectacular event. And during that event, so many people have reciprocations with the Lord. All sorts of people come Jagannath Puri. Muslims, Buddhists, you name it, all of them love Jagannath. He's the Lord of everybody. They come and take Mahaprasadam. Jagannath Prasadam is very, very famous. The story goes, as you must have heard, that when the deity manifested himself in this very, very amazing form, Indradumna Maharaj, he appeared to him and it was carved out of logs of neem. And then he said, the carver said, don't disturb me. And since Indradumna Maharaj was not hearing properly, he opened the door and he found there are half-carved forms, and the Lord told him, no, these are the forms. You can install them. And since then they've been installed, and there's a huge story, big story of the appearance of Lord Jagannath and how the Lord reciprocates with so many devotees. And there are beautiful, wonderful stories. This morning we were recollecting 2-3 of the stories of devotees wanting to make an offering and things like that. There is a story of Nandi Mata, a very insignificant old lady from a village nearby. She would come and she had a very motherly feeling towards Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra. Young boys, and the sister together. So she felt that they're giving 58 or 56 offerings every day, chapan bhog. How many things you're eating? Your stomach must be really spoiled with all these sweets and this thing. Now, I want to bring you some nice leaves and everything for your digestion, for your stomach. She was really involved with Jagannath. And she would go home and she'd bring this on a nice thing on a mud plate. And every day she'll sneak it in under her sari like this. In the gate, she will not show it. So then she'll come there to the temple in front and offer it to the Lord. See, I brought for you. Better eat this. Your stomach will get spoiled otherwise. You boys are very mischievous and you're playing around so much and you need this. You're eating too much. You're eating all these offerings. How your stomach will be. With great love and affection she's offering, and it will disappear from the plate. Only she knows. She knows he has taken it. So she'll go, and every day she would do this. After this thing, he has to take this, so she'll come and do this. One fine day, the watchman actually saw, hey, what is it that you're carrying in your this thing? No, nothing. Show me. He said, you can't take all these things inside. And then, she was a very frail, small lady, very poor lady, nothing very insignificant at all. So he wrenched it out of her and said, what is this? He said, I offer this every day to Jagannath. Please don't do anything to it. Please. She was crying like nothing. Because every day she was having this amazing thing happening. It will disappear from the plate. And she would offer in the corner somewhere there, I brought for you today, take your stomach will get spoiled. Boom, it will disappear. So only she knows what's happening. And it's for real, she knows. And, it's going on. She's not telling anybody. She's some insignificant lady. She's coming and doing it every day. This guard caught it. Then he said, what nonsense, all these things you're taking. And he flung it against the wall and it broke. This lady couldn't take it. Her heart was so broken and she had nobody to talk to. She just completely cried and she almost died there because of her affection for the Lord. And this is happening in your place. And she just crawled back to her home and just couldn't do anything. She was almost dying. She couldn't take this. In the meantime, in the king's dream, the Lord appeared and said, what nonsense has happened? This person is offering me with great love and devotion. This lady, Nandi Mata, do you know? You don't know anything. And I will never accept any offering if you do not bring. And he was very angry. So the king went around looking for that lady. He had a search done by soldiers and everything. And he found her in the house, crawled up and completely fasting, going to die. He brought her and he said, you make your thing here. I want to offer to the Lord. He's waiting for you. And then she became energetic and she did that. And she offered. Then she felt very happy. She was not bothered about the king, by the guard or anything. I am able to do this again to the Lord. Like this, very beautiful, amazing relationship. So many stories you see. And these are all devotees. They have full faith in the Archa Vigraha of the Lord. Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Brajendra Nandana. You are not a statue, my Lord. You are Sakshat, the Supreme Lord Himself. In this way, great devotees have spoken these stories and spoken the greatness of the deity form of that Lord in that particular place. And people get attracted, go and offer their prayers and everything. Such a wonderful culture of bringing everybody close to the Lord. What an arrangement, right? So worship is important. We should learn to worship the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Absolute Truth. Children should be taught how to do that from the young age, and it will become a practice for them. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's father would always teach him how to worship. In the house there were deities, and he would worship, he would wipe, he would offer, and all from the very young age that is cultured. In many houses I have seen, I used to go to preach in some houses, I see a beautiful form of Laddu Gopal in Cochin, I remember, and the son is being told, is told in Hindi, Beta, you don't go and offer it to Gopal. So he bought some cloth, he bought some new slacks, he got a school bag, everything he goes and offers to the Lord first, pays obeisances and prays to him. This is for you. I want to take it only as prasadam. He's taught how to do it. It's so amazing. The culture seeps inside. Throughout their life, they'll carry it out. And they're safe. They keep close to Krishna. So it was such a nice thing. The family is, everybody is trained up to, the center is the Gopal and the Laddu Gopal, very opulently done in silver, and they cook all sorts of things and offer to the Lord, and they eat only prasadam every day. It's a very ancient family, and the tradition, they are doing it for so long. It's a North Indian, Agarwals and all of them together. And very peaceful. So many people do that in their houses. And they live very peacefully. And they know God, Krishna is present here. And they'll offer for any small problems. Now they offer the prayer to the Lord. They'll sit and read Bhagavad Gita in front. They'll chant one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The father will do all this. The child will watch. He'll also develop the same culture. Not that in the center there's a TV and everybody's sitting and browsing on their phones. Nobody talks to each other. And everybody's on their own, in their own world, separated from each other. Today you see, what a culture. There's no interaction. There is no personal relationships. Everything is broken down. Broken down. So this temple culture is amazing. It brings people together in communities and brings them closer to Krishna and brings them closer to themselves. And they're very tight, rich relationships between each other. And everybody becomes happy. This is India. This is how India was. So many thousands of temples and communities all around the temples. Very beautiful. Even Karl Marx has spoken about it and how Indians are very good in social organization and this everything. So I wanted to bring a very foundational, fundamental understanding to you about deity worship, Archana Seva, and temple. Thank you. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Any question or comment that we could answer for you? Ramanathan Purushottaman. Oh, that's not a question, it's a comment. Okay, thank you, Ramanathan ji. Anybody has a question or a comment? So tomorrow you can watch. I think they will relate normally the whole day, Rath Yatra in Puri. I think on the net, anywhere you could watch that. Right? So happy Rath Yatra to all of you. Most home deity is photo frame. Yeah, in paint also. One of the forms you can worship the Lord is in paint, Shiva. That's also one of the forms. That's why picture is worshipable. You have these big pictures and some of them inlaid with gold and all. That's very attractive. Paint and stone made out of clay and mud and wood. Avahanam they do in the Kalasham, Jala, and jewels. Like this, there are 8 different methods by which you can worship the Lord. There are ways of doing this. Okay. Brinda, when a person will be capable to say that he is a devotee of Krishna? Well, actually, everybody is by default part and parcel of Krishna. So you're only uncovering your devotional qualities. So when you perform this sadhana of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, you engage in worship of the Lord in his Vigraha form or picture or whatever, and you read Bhagavad Gita, you mix with devotees, and you do all these 5 angas, which are very powerful. Then bhakti awakens in the heart again, gradually. And then one who has bhakti is a bhakta. That's all. One who has even a little bit of bhakti is a bhakta. And he grows his bhakti gradually. Bhakti, the art of growing the bhakti gradually. And then as it grows, it becomes big and gives fruits, and you can distribute the fruits to others too. They also will become bhaktas. Okay? Yes. Lohita, Hare Krishna, name decorating and decorating Krishna Vigraha, same, no, Maharaj. Name decorating means what? Decorating yourself with the name of the Lord also is mentioned. Some people on their forehead, they will write Krishna in Sanskrit. On their hands also, they will write like this. There is only one way of name decorating. But you mean to say name chanting and decorating Krishna Vigraha. Yeah, all of them are devotional service. All of them are absolute because it's got to do with Krishna. It's a seva, one type. Okay? All right. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Good night. Have sweet dreams of Krishna. Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Dandava Pranam, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.